What's going on, plugins? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Kansas basketball and the 2022 recruits. Before we get into this video, make sure you drop a like, and if you're new here, sub to the channel and become a part of the family. Now let's get into the video. Kansas basketball is entering the 2022-2023 season as the reigning national champions, but could they run it back and win back-to-back national titles? The last time a team has won back-to-back NCAA titles was Florida back in 2006 and 2007, and that team was led by head coach Billy Donovan and star players like Al Horford and Joakim Noah. So could Kansas be the next team to pull off a two-peat? Drop your opinions in the comments if this will happen or not. In my opinion, there's a slim chance that this could happen, but this Kansas team is bringing in a talented 2022 recruiting class, which includes Gradey, MJ Rice, Ernest Udeh Jr., and Zuby Ejiofor. According to 24/7 Sports, this 2022 recruiting class is ranked 4th. This is a loaded class for Kansas, and with these talented freshmen and a lot of luck, anything is possible. Let's take a deep dive into each freshman's game and see what type of skill set they will bring to Kansas this upcoming season. First, let's talk about Gradey, who's a 5-star 6'8" guard. He won 2022 Gatorade Player of the Year and was a McDonald's All-American. During his senior season at Sunrise Christian Academy, he averaged 17.9 points and 5.2 rebounds. He shot 51.3% from the field and 46.7% from three. He was arguably one of the best three-point shooters in high school during his senior season. He's a sniper from three. If you give him any space, he's going to knock it down. He's an elite catch-and shooter who doesn't miss often. With him having a high release and being 6'8", this is a nightmare for defenders because when they're closing out on him, when he's shooting a three, he can shoot over you. He doesn't get his shot blocked much out there. He demands the attention from defenders. You have to make sure you know where he's at all times on the court, because if you don't, he'll make you pay. He moves well without the ball in his hands, has a great understanding of how to get himself open. So he's a threat even when he doesn't have the ball in his hands, and that can be a headache for defenders. Gradey's not just a three-point specialist. He can create his own shot and has a solid mid-range game. I like him better being a catch and shooter, but it's good he can get you points in other ways. Only thing he really lacks is explosiveness and creative moves to get by defenders. He was a straight line driver in high school who uses physicality and size to get to the rim, but that may not work in college for him. But I'm not expecting him to turn into a crazy athlete who's jumping out the gym and become an elite slasher, but I don't want him just to be one-dimensional and just rely on his jump shot. If he can get you a few points in the paint and grow into an all-around scorer, he could turn into something special. We all know he's going to let it fly from three and make a lot of shots. He might end up having one of the highest three-point percentages in college as a freshman. He's that good. In high school, he played with a lot of energy, very smart team defender that understands schemes and rotations. He's good at taking charges and often finds himself in the right spot on the defensive side of the ball. He has already shown flashes of being an elite scorer for Kansas. He looked good in the expedition game against Pittsburgh State, dropping 20 points in 23 minutes. He was 7 for 9 from the floor and shot 3 for 9 from three. He showed the hype is real about his shooting ability and that he has the potential to become the leading scorer for Kansas this upcoming season and one of the best three-point shooters in college basketball. Now let's talk about MJ Rice, who's a 5-star 6'5" guard. He was a McDonald's All-American. During his senior season at Prolific Prep, he averaged 20.1 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 2.3 assists per game. MJ Rice is described as a big-time scorer who is strong and an explosive athlete. He's physically built like a linebacker. With his powerful frame and athleticism, he could turn into a matchup nightmare for defenders. He can score at all three levels. When he's driving to the rim, he uses his strength to his advantage to overpower defenders. He plays very aggressive, and once he gets going downhill, it's hard to stop him. He embraces contact when he's driving to the rim, and if you don't go up strong and block his shot, he will put you on a poster. When it comes to his shooting, he loves using step-back threes to create space, and he does it at an elite level, so it's tough for defenders to guard him. He also likes using jab moves to create space, and this scares defenders because he's such a threat getting to the rim that defenders will bite on his jab moves, and this will result in him getting an easy jump shot. So as a defender, you got to pick your poison. Do you want him getting to the rim and dunking, or do you want him shooting threes? Because he can do both at a high level. On defense, he should be fine guarding multiple positions. He's strong and athletic, so he shouldn't have any problems guarding bigs in college. With his NBA-ready body and his potential to be an elite three-level scorer, Kansas fans should be very excited about MJ Rice. He will have a lot of highlight reel plays, so get your popcorn ready because this guy's box office. Ernest Udeh Jr. is a 6'11" center with a 7'2" wingspan. He was also a McDonald's All-American. During his senior season, he averaged 13.1 points and 9.2 rebounds. He's a long, athletic big man who plays with a lot of energy and runs the floor well. He's not a polished scorer, and he has a limited shooting range, but he has great hands, and this helps him catch a lot of passes, which is his biggest strength. He's an elite offensive and defensive rebounder. Because of his long wingspan and having great hands, it's easy for him to grab rebounds. Like most centers, he's a solid rim protector, but he's a great quick passer who knows how to make the correct reads. He will help Kansas in rebounding and be a lob threat in transition. I can see him averaging 10 rebounds per game. Lastly, let's talk about Zuby Ejiofor, who's a 6'9" forward. He's an athletic physical force who's a dominant inside scorer. This guy's like a Mack truck coming through the lane. If he's coming down with a full head of steam going to the rim, good luck to the defender because there's no stopping him. He loves attacking the rim and scoring through contact. So when he's on fire and he knows he can easily get to the rim, he will keep attacking. If he can develop a consistent jump shot, he could be scary. Y'all feel what I'm saying, plugins? Because the way he can get to the rim at will and how physical he is, if he can manage to be a threat from the mid-range or three, he can be a special player. He's a versatile player. Kansas can use him all over the floor, so he could be an X-Factor type of player for this team. Bill Self will develop him well and have him NBA ready whenever he decides to enter the NBA draft. I see him playing a few years of college. He's a raw prospect, but he has a high ceiling. I really like his game. Now, let's briefly talk about the key players Kansas lost from last season. First, let's talk about Remy Martin, who played a key role in the Kansas backcourt. He started in a few games last season. David McCormick was a solid big man for Kansas. He was a full-time starter these past 2 seasons. Last season, he averaged 10.6 points per game, 7 rebounds, and shot 50.8% from the field to earn third-team All Big 12 honors. Ochai Agbaji was a 4-year starter. He's the most notable loss. He averaged 18.8 points, 5.1 rebounds per game. He led the Big 12 in scoring last season. He was also a first-team All-American, along with receiving other honors that included Big 12 Player of the Year, first-team All Big 12, and NCAA Most Outstanding Player. So this is a big loss for Kansas. He was one of the best scorers on the team and a key piece to their championship run. So replacing a player like that is going to be hard. Christian Brown ranked second on the team in scoring this past season, averaging 14.1 points. He was a reliable player who played a lot of minutes for Kansas. He led the Big 12 in minutes played with 1,374 minutes, and he received second-team All Big 12 honors. Some key players that are returning are Jalen Wilson, who is likely the biggest name returning to Kansas. He led Kansas in rebounding last season while also ranking third in scoring. He averaged 11.1 points and 7.4 rebounds per game and receiving third-team All Big 12 honors. DeJuan Harris Jr., who is a point guard, is coming back. He was on the 2022 Big 12 All-Defensive team, so he will be a defensive leader this season. He can help mentor the freshmen. Now let's talk about the head coach, Bill Self. He was suspended for 4 games from a 2017 NCAA investigation that involved multiple schools who broke recruiting violations. The FBI found evidence that multiple schools paid top recruits to attend their schools. If y'all know anything about college sports, this type of stuff happens all the time, but now that the NCAA passed the NIL rules so college athletes can make money off their image and likeness, investigations like this probably won't happen often. It doesn't look like Kansas will suffer a postseason ban, so this is good news for Kansas fans. Do y'all think Kansas will get out to a slow start? We could see a scenario where Kansas is 1-3 or 0-4 while Bill Self serves his 4-game suspension. How good do y'all think these freshmen will do this season? And do y'all think Kansas will win back-to-back titles? Make sure you drop a like on the video and sub to the channel. Turn on post notifications so you know when I post. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time.